Well, first of all, thank you all for being here. It's a good turnout. A lot of you. Very nice to see. I appreciate the interest in everybody being here, and also want to thank and I have to do this slowly because it's a lot of letters, the LVCVA, Allegiant Stadium, T-Mobile, and also the Fontainebleau Hotel. If I said that right, I have a terrible French accent, as many of you have seen. Also want to thank our partners, Dun and Dustin, on this event. That did a phenomenal job. Everybody dig the set?
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was phenomenal. Fanatics event, I want to thank them as well for bringing WWE World to life. I've just heard from a lot of fans over the last couple of days that have been really positive about what World was like and the attractions that were there and their ability to go there and Superstore and everything about it, so it was wonderful. For the first time ever tonight, and I said this in the ring when I first got out there, it literally just dawned on me right when I was about to walk into the ring to say welcome to WrestleMania. That this is the first time for WrestleMania that everybody around the world was watching at the same time. Very, very small percent of the globe now is not covered between Peacock and Netflix. So it's kind of the first, I don't know, it struck me right before I walked in that ring like, wow, like the world is watching right now. And that I don't know, it just seemed impressive to me that it's a different time, and the ability, as we talked about before with Netflix, for people internationally that I know so many of them that just said, it's so difficult to connect on big events and the times and, live and where is it and all that stuff. Netflix makes it so easy for them. It's the one-stop shopping. The interface looks the same everywhere around the globe, and it's just click and watch, and it's amazing. As far as the show tonight, we set a new record for any single night gate in WWE history. So this was phenomenally successful. Attendance, 61,467. That's a full sellout. We were today opening, whenever we do sets like this, there are always seats that are potentially like not the best view or restricted view or things like that, or that we have to kill for production reasons that then become available last second. We were opening up production kills as fast as we possibly could, and they were selling out the second we put them up. So the demand was really, really high. Little spoiler, I would expect that record for highest gate to last about a little less than 24 hours now. We should crush it tomorrow. We had tickets purchased from all 50 states, 68 countries. Like I said, global event. WWE is truly a global company that is followed worldwide, and I think we are showing it more and more. I think you will see that in the coming year, and I think tonight was proof positive of that as well. Many of you know on our countdown show tonight, we announced the acquisition of Top Lucha promotion in Mexico, AAA. Very exciting time for us. Very exciting opportunity, I think, for us to continue to grow Lucha Libre, which for many of you know that are either fans of that or grew up there. It's woven into the fabric of the culture. It really is. It resonates with everybody. It's impressive to see, and we want to make sure that not only exists but continues to thrive and continues to grow. I'm a big fan of lucha as a style. I think that having all styles is incredibly valuable. Obviously, we have a particular one that we like to do with WWE, but that does not mean that we're looking to massively revamp anything. I'm looking to keep traditional Lucha Libre as traditional Lucha Libre within that world and just help it to grow and help the athletes that grew up fans of it in those markets to realize their dream, just like we're helping to do in the U.S. whether it's finding athletes from college or NIL programs or anything, turn people onto it, whether they grew up in it or not, let them fall in love with it and let them become great at it. And that is our goal. That will be our goal globally, is to have the best of the best from around the world. And we will continue to do that. So very, very excited about that. It was very, very exciting day for, I believe, all our Hispanic talent, and to have Vikingo here, and Dorian and his mom, and just everybody. So it was a very emotional afternoon with them. And as like we mentioned before, I mentioned before at that event, 30 years ago, right about now, I was sitting in my apartment with Brian Pillman and Regal and a few other people watching that first AAA Worlds Collide event. I thought it was spectacular. That's been on my mind since then, and we will be doing a Worlds Collide event with AAA from the LA Forum on June 7th. And I think that will be a spectacular event that will, I think, should show the level of commitment and what we're looking to do with AAA. On some other just little business things and exciting news, Cody Rhodes starting a new podcast for WWE, and also somebody that I'm a very big fan of, as you all heard last night, is Stephanie McMahon. Launching with our podcasts and shows with our partners, Fanatics. If you haven't seen them, Steph's Places show, I think is phenomenal. And Steph's first podcast is out with Dana White, and I'm not sure if the other one is out yet or if it's about to come out with Michael Rubin from Fanatics. So incredibly good, I believe. And Steph is incredibly good with getting things out of people. She is very emotionally in tune with people and has a way of asking them questions. So I think that show will be phenomenal. And I think Cody's will be a lot of fun as well. As far as Hall of Fame goes, incredible evening for me, I believe, for the legends. Anytime we can have Steve around is a phenomenal day. Anytime that we can have Brett around, it's a phenomenal day. Our talent, those are heroes to them and people that they look up to, and anytime they can pick their brains and get a little bit of advice from them, it's incredible to have them around. And I was really, really happy for Michelle McCool to get her flowers for sort of changing the perception of women as athletes in the WWE and being a big part of that. Lex Luger, well-deserved into the Hall of Fame. I said it to Lex last night when I saw him and realized it's probably one of the worst things you can tell another wrestler. It was like, I watched you when I was a kid and I thought you were great. I realized it after I said it. And but, to see his turnaround in life, to see what Diamond Dallas Page has done for so many people, and to have Lex be a part of that, to be able to stand up out of his wheelchair, and I don't know how long he spoke, 10 minutes or so, but to be able to stand there for that length of time was just inspirational to see. The natural disasters, well-deserved as well. We had spoken to the family about putting them in all the way last year at the Hall of Fame, so having them have that opportunity and that honor meant a lot. To see Dory Funk and see his dad achieve that honor, and even for Dory, what that meant for him was an incredible moment for me to see. And then, of course, Kamala, who, for me as a kid growing up was just incredible. What an incredible character. And, I think often about the Hall of Fame that as much as it's cool for you, it's cool for the people that sort of paid the price for what you did, your family, your children, to see, even if somebody is no longer here, for them to see their father or whatever receive that honor, to know that sacrifice that you made, that you dealt with, all those things. That award is just as much for you. So sometimes I think people will say, like, it's after the fact or whatever, or once they're passed. I don't know. To me, it's just to see how much that meant to his wife was very touching to me. And then, same for Ivan Koloff and his family. So well deserved as such an important cog in a wheel of. And Bill, you were there, I believe, right?
I shot the photo that you used.
Yeah, well, you don't have to brag about it. Give Bill, don't give him the microphone over there. He'll take over the whole show. No, it's just, as a breaking that title reign of Bruno Sammartino in Madison Square Garden, which was like the WrestleMania of the time, and the pin drop silent, right, of that moment happening. Now he doesn't want to say anything. The silence of that moment, he's just, he was such an important figure, and I'm just really, really happy that, even though he wasn't here to see it, but his family was, and what that means to them. So I was really happy for that. And then, of course, for me, I don't know that I can say any more than I did last night for a long period of time, way late into the evening. It was really, I didn't have that much to say. I was just really trying to see how much our talent could put up with. Really. It's like an endurance test. But no, it was quite an emotional moment, and something I'll never forget. And I know that for me, it was a surprise doing it, but as we were designing these rings and changing what we do, a lot of thought and care was put into them so that they could be as meaningful and impressive for them to show people or to brag about having or have those moments as their careers meant to us and to everybody else. So it was a really emotional night. The Hall of Fame is always one of my favorite nights. Just I'm a big history buff for the industry. I love all that stuff, and I don't know, it's just a wonderful emotional night. So thoughts on tonight, I thought we had a spectacular show. I thought the pacing of it was well. Crowd was great. The stage design I thought was incredible. I loved having fans up there and in the design and in the space. At the end of the day, it's really what we're all about is that engagement with fans. So having them as a part of it, I don't know, just felt right to me. The War Raiders, New Day, new tag team champs, New Day just solidifying themselves as one of the greatest tag teams of all time. Ray Phoenix, unfortunately, with the injury to Rey Mysterio last second, you ask somebody to step in that's just got here, not fully prepared, not fully anything. I thought it was amazing. I thought Ray Phoenix did a phenomenal job of putting him on the map, and you have not, in a moment that was incredibly difficult for him. He showed why he is here and how big of a star he is going to be in the future. And El Grande Americano, whoever he is incredible. What a physique and what a job he did. Incredibly hard head, apparently. So I thought it was great. Jade and Naomi, just I love seeing people in this when they get into a situation and then sort of figuring that out on the fly. New character for Naomi, new position, new everything, and she's very excited about it, and we're very excited about it, and seeing her just be lit up over that role and thrive in it, and Jade coming back and from a legit time away, and be able to come back and be in WrestleMania and do what they did tonight. I was very happy for both of them, and I thought they did a phenomenal job. LA Knight, Jacob Fatu was spectacular for me. LA Knight just so popular, and Jacob Fatu is right there with him. And Jacob is just a monster, man. He's a destroyer, and that is going to go a long way. Gunther J was everything it needed to be. funny that I judge a lot of how people perform sometimes differently in wins and losses. The pros, to me, the ones that are the best, perform the best sometimes in a loss. And in that loss, sometimes you come out in a better place. Gunther, to me, tonight showed why he is absolutely, undoubtedly one of the best in the world. And Jey Uso, just when you have 61,467 people going crazy like that, and doing the entrance and the yeet and all that, it's just an impressive thing. Really happy for him. Jay's transformation over the last couple of years through the Bloodline story and coming out of it and doing his own thing, and showed tonight why the main event Jey Uso is a fitting name for him. Tiffany Charlotte was a fight, hell of a fight. I hope they're both okay. Adrenaline's a magical thing, so in the moment, I think they're both good, but it was a hell of a war. And, for Tiffany Stratton in the short period of time to be in the business, to stand in the ring with one of the absolute best in the business, and I don't mean absolute best in the women's division, I mean one of the absolute best in the business in Charlotte Flair, and hang with her on that big stage when, it's hard to put into words, as nervous as you are, and I'm sure Charlotte was, and I'm sure she was wound up and the nerves are there. She's been doing this for a while and been in that role for a lot of time. Tiffany is not. I'm sure WrestleMania had her on edge, and for her to deliver in that manner, in that moment, says a lot about who she is and why she's going to be on top for a long, long time. And then, Jesus, Roman, Seth, and Punk, I don't even know where to start. Like, if you are CM Punk and you've waited your whole life to be in the main event of WrestleMania, and that's been your goal, and tonight was the night, that made that wait all worthwhile. That was through and through a WrestleMania main event with three of the best in the world trying to show themselves and 60,000+ people that not only are they one of the best, they are the absolute best. Each one of them trying to show that. Each one of them trying to not only outdo but outsell the other one. That's the magic of our business. And they had it. And all night long they had everybody from start to finish. So incredible performance by everybody. And can't wait for them all. So I'll open it up to them.
First question on your right-hand side, front row.
Paul, good to see you.
Hey man, how are you?
Good. Wanted to get your thoughts on Vegas as a host town. This place was talked about for quite some time, of 5 nights, sold out shows, but also like including like the official hotel, the official after parties. I mean, it's nonstop. Your thoughts on Las Vegas?
It was hard to find a place to eat, I found. Las Vegas is perfectly suited for the type of event this is, right? It is a place that is made for big events. I mean, built from the ground up. A place for big events, for spectacle, for larger than life, for people to go and, forget about life and go there and do crazy things. And what's crazier than WrestleMania for 2 nights in this city? But it is built, it is designed, it is, so they've been, in many ways, they're the perfect partners. The hotels, the restaurants, the attractions and other things that you can do, the places to be able to host World and the Taker's show and the Hall of Fame and the roast on Sunday night. There was a moment this week when I saw a list of all the content that we were creating this week, and it was mind-blowing to me, and I'm the one doing it, or in front of it all, but when you see it all laid out like that, it's crazy how much content is made here, but only you can only do that in a place like this, where you have that opportunity to do all those things. And what's wonderful about that is you're not expecting everybody to watch everything and go to everything. You're expecting them to find the thing that speaks to them. And it's one of the things about WWE, we want to have a little something for everyone. and have them be able to come to events like this, destination events, like Vegas now, like New Orleans will be next year. Cities like that where you can go in there, there's places to do everything, and there's a little something for everybody, and every single person can come and enjoy it. Whether you're an older jaded fan been watching this your whole life, or whether you're coming with your family, or whether you're bringing kids with you that have just discovered this and are going to stand there in awe of the superheroes that they see on TV, and you can look at it through the eyes of your kid. There's something for everybody, and to me, that's what makes a destination site Las Vegas, like Las Vegas, perfect for us.
Staying on the right side, second row.
Hi Paul, Alistair McGeorge from the Metro in the UK.
How are you?
Yeah, really well, thanks. How are you? You alluded to the emotions of the Hall of Fame, sort of for people generally. For you specifically, what did it mean having your family, your daughters there, sort of especially given what you went through health-wise just a few years ago?
It's hard to put into words. But the thing that also feels like that's amazing, right? It's the most important thing for me. Having, my parents are there, my kids, Steph, my mother-in-law, I have friends there. That's incredible. And then on top of that, I'm sitting in a room full of 100, 200, a little less than 200 talent, maybe, that almost all of them I have some type of really emotional connection to. I've watched them come in the door, I've watched them get started, I've watched them grow, or I've watched them come into this place, where they thought they would never make it to WWE just because of, I think sometimes about Finn Balor and me getting on the phone call, on the phone with him personally to say I think he didn't think it was real. We're never going to get this opportunity to go there and do that. And I called him and was like, not for real, I want you here. And here's why I want you here. And this is what I believe in you. And this is how I want to go about it. And, so to see them all sitting in a crowd, to have them all there, and I heard from so many of them too, just sending me congratulations. I don't know, it was like having, I don't know how many people that place holds, a couple thousand or whatever, between the talent, my family, and then the fans that were there. I don't know, it just feels all like family. It's one of the things that I love about this, what we do. It's, when you come to WrestleMania, it's like a big family to some degree. It's just 61,000 people that all are here for the same reasons and love the product. And if you're new and you don't know what's going on, somebody will fill you in on the details right there. You don't really see arguments, you don't really see fighting. Everybody's just there to have a great time. It's I used to say this a lot, that it's like a big family reunion. There's just so many people in your family, you have no idea who most of them are, right? But it feels like that, and it's one of my favorite things about this. So when you go to Hall of Fame, and you have that level of people that are there that you consider family, and I would consider, obviously my immediate family is my family, but then I would consider those talent, to me, I consider them my family. For a lot of those fans that were there, almost all of them, in some manner, I consider them family. I've never met them or anything, but I don't know, it's my job, it's my responsibility, it's also my privilege and my passion to provide something for them that I hope that they love and enjoy. So, it was incredible.
Left-hand side, front row.
Hello, Paul. Joe Torres from Contralona. First of all, congrats on the WWE Hall of Fame induction. I wanted to ask you about the acquisition of AAA. Impactful and obviously in WrestleMania. So, what does it mean for WWE's global strategy in the future of Lucha Libre, and especially open up for Latin America, the Caribbean, and other places? Thank you.
Thank you for the question, and I think the intent is to grow it, right? To grow Lucha Libre. to, as you mentioned, it has such a cultural impact. And South America, Central America, right, like all through Mexico. But then you come into the United States where there's and I don't know if anybody saw the New York Times article today, where they talked about the powerful impact and the power of Lucha Libre and what it means. And, you know, especially in markets within the US, like LA and places like that, right? Southern California. So the intent is to grow it. The intent is to grow that brand, that, you know, NXT started out as this, and over time it became something massive. When done right. And it's, you know, Sean mentioned it last night, when you look at WrestleMania now, like most of it came directly out of NXT, a large percentage of it. That's the success of it. And I think Mexico, I think AAA, I think Lucha Libre opens up the door for those athletes as well, to not only grow to be the biggest thing that they can be in Lucha and everything else, but if the desire is there to grow beyond that, right? I think it's the greatest, you can call it what you want, sport entertainment, whatever you want to call it. What we do, I think, is the greatest form of that entertainment in the world, but that's a global thing. There are places in the world where it's culturally significant to them. We're not looking to take away from that culturally significant product. We're looking to enhance it, to grow it, to make it bigger, and give opportunities for talent to even grow beyond that and become worldwide celebrities, as opposed to, and not to say anything wrong with it, but as opposed to in a certain genre of something, right? And there's room for everybody. And as people grow through their careers, they don't have to stay in one place. They can go and also from a learning standpoint, to learn different styles and different techniques and all that. You know, it's important, and I think it's powerful for us to be able to be in those markets and to be able to grow our talent in that manner.
Couple more questions. We'll go back to the right-hand side, front row.
Emily May. We saw 3 title changes tonight. We had that huge main event and the surprise, you know, Paul Heyman going with Seth Rollins instead. Yeah. So what was your creative process like, establishing these 3 title changes and this huge main event all on night 1 of WrestleMania?
You know, it's impossible to tell anybody the process because there's so many cogs in it, right? So as you begin to put this event together, as the event begins to grow, as it becomes bigger, as it gets closer, every little thing that happens changes some piece of it. So it's like having a giant set of dominoes and you set it all up, and then you know, if one falls, a lot of them go down, and you begin to have to change things and you begin to have to tweak things around. You know, this build also was a lot longer, so it was a different kind of build. I often think of, and this is, I don't want to say simplifying it, but it's just a way of explaining it. Individual matches are like an individual song. And for anybody that downloads, make a different thing. But for anybody that grew up in a vinyl or a cassette, I suppose, or even a CD era, the individual songs are great. But you saw so many bands over the years talk about the album. The album tells a story, right? All these songs, each individual match comes together to make an album. So there's a lot of factors that go into making that album. It's not just write crazy song after crazy song and this thing will kill. It's not the best way to go about it. And some people like that, and that's great, but we believe it's not the best way to go about it. So it's crafting an album start to finish, and everything has a reason for why it's there. And then there's a lot of things that have a reason for why they're not there as well. And sometimes it's hard for people to understand that, but there's, when we finish, and I say this all the time, we all do it, but so we do night 1 tonight. Tomorrow night we're going to do night 2. And before I leave Gorilla to come do the press conference with everybody and then leave to go to Tony Hinchcliffe roast, I'm going to sit at Gorilla, and about probably 2 minutes after we go off the air, someone's going to walk over and hand me Monday Night Raw. That was my off season. Right? If you don't have a plan for the other side of WrestleMania, you've really messed up. That doesn't mean your plans will actually work, because things could change, right? When you see what happens in WrestleMania, you might think, oh man, that didn't go the way we thought it was gonna turn out different. People took it differently. We need to go in a different direction. But you have to have plans. It means you have to have things for the other side. It means you have to have things that don't pay off in the moment and pay off, right? And the pressure of that, one of the things I love about this business, it's the most demanding business in the world. If you had any other form of entertainment where if everything wasn't a perfect 10 on that event, people complain about it. And and it's gone from one night of WrestleMania to 2 nights of WrestleMania to all this other stuff to, oh, now it's the Raw after WrestleMania, and that's got to be this crazy, right? Like, so there's no, oh man, WrestleMania is over, take your foot off the gas, we'll coast for a little bit, this will be easy, right? You gotta go. All that stuff has to go into this. Doesn't mean we do it right, doesn't mean we do it perfectly every time, but that's the intent. And so it's hard to even say like, well, here's the process, because it's so complex and convoluted in many ways that if you have never done this, it's almost impossible to understand, I said it last night, Dusty would always say, Bucanini, the kid, right? And, what's that? If you will. And he would say it, and, at first I didn't fully understand that, and as time would go on, I would be like, you ain't kidding, right? It is what it is. He used to also always say to me, he would say, if you can get 70% of what's in your head to come out on that screen, it's a grand slam, right? Because in your mind, you see it perfect. In your head, you see it exactly the way you want it to be. And then it's producers and staff and talent and all these things, and it's never exactly what you think. So you always say 70% is a grand slam. But you keep on plugging, because again, tomorrow I will get handed a script as soon as that show is over, and we are 365-ish days away from WrestleMania 42.
Last question?
Hi, Paul. Rick Ucchino from The Takedown on SI. You spoke earlier a little bit about Jey Uso's connection with the audience, his rise over the last couple of years. This is obviously a big night for him. I'm interested to know if you can pinpoint a specific moment or a specific time over the last couple of years that you really started to look at Jey differently as a future, not only as a future World Heavyweight Champion, but as a Royal Rumble winner and a guy who could win the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania.
It's a process. It's not a moment. I don't think you ever. Man, there might be a moment that we were all like, something's happening here, right? But it's usually not a particular moment, because it's things over time. I think everybody saw something different in Jey over the last couple of years in that Bloodline story, and the way he handled himself and the emotion and all those things. But I think there was a lot of people that thought it was this cast of characters making this great ensemble piece that worked. And then, when he goes off on his own, it's going to be different. Doesn't have all these other people to play off, doesn't have this story, doesn't have all this stuff. And then he goes out there, and there's a different connection with people. It's funny because a lot of people, sometimes I see people talk about Jey, and they're like, the Yeet guy's doing his Yeet thing or something, right? Like, I didn't know what he's doing at all. Like, what he's doing is he sees something that is truly him, that resonated with people and caught on. And he is as invested in them and doing that. Like, to me, the guy doing the Heat thing implies that he's just out there doing a shtick. And when, this caught on, I'm gonna do this shtick, I'm gonna ride this shtick into the ground, and then I'll go and do something else. And it's not that. I know him, I see him, and I see how he is with people and with fans. And when he is out there, he is vibing with those people. I don't know, there's a connection. Some people have it, some people can't, and then you can't manufacture it, and you can't, sometimes you can, I guess, but they believe in him. They not everybody, but majority, strong majority. I didn't see a whole lot of people that weren't in there tonight in the pocket with him, you know? But they believe in him, he believes in them, and I don't know, there's just this magical connection between him and when he's in that ocean of people that are loving what he does, that becomes undeniable. So as that's beginning to take place, you'd have to be, like, I don't know, you just have to not pay attention at all to not see that happening and say, we gotta run down this road because it's real, you know? So my hat's off to him. He's created that. It's tough to do when you're deep into your career like he is, right? He's not just getting started. He wasn't trying to figure something out. He was in a certain role for years, where you kind of get pigeonholed into that spot. And then to break out of that is very difficult. My hat's off to him for doing it, you know? And that's a pro to me. That ability to adapt, to change, to put the gas on something when you need to. You know, I saw it tonight with Seth and Punk and Roman, same thing, right? Like, you get into this three-way thing, and it becomes competitive of who is going to be the highlight. Hard to argue as this came into the home stretch that Seth did become the highlight, right? That's long deep into his career to still have that fire to go that next level to get there and have that connection with people. That's a pro. That's impressive to me. And Jay has it. Seth has it. A lot of people here have it. But it's cool. It's to me, when you have that's what makes you great. So.
Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us here tonight.
Thank y'all very much. I would do another question, but we're going to do another question tomorrow. So